Chapter 2 Farewell. 3 months passed by. I worked as a freelancer, earning some much needed cash for my travels. The visa finally arrived, and the date of my departure was fast approaching. In my dreams of Australia, I wore a cowboy hat and found so many opals and gold that I could finance a cattle farm in the outback where I would sit on a porch in a rocking chair spitting into a bucket. I began to doubt that dream. Did I really need to live this dream and make it reality? Was chasing dingoes and kangaroos and becoming a masterful didgeridoo player worth leaving my comfortable world behind? Yes, those were good dreams. I decided they needed to become real. The last time I saw my father's family was at my grandparents' golden wedding anniversary. It was a celebration with time in church, a lot of picture taking, fancy meal, and more photos. Then we went to my grandparents' house where my leave taking took a dramatic turn. There were lots of tears. My granddad locking himself into the bedroom, not wanting to say goodbye. We were very close, and me leaving was unthinkable to him. In the end, I left without physically saying goodbye to Granddad. More tears from Granny, and my father's goodbye was, "Leave, you stupid cow." And that pretty much sums up my relationship with him. My maternal side is a little more relaxed, and there were no dramas there, just the worry whether the attic would ever be emptied of my boxes again. My cat Momo went to live with my stepdad. In contrast to Wiesbaden, here he could live a life of a country cat, and he loved every minute of it. My stepdad had a knack for animals, like Dr. Dolittle. I think he loved them more than humans. At least he was more faithful to them. My heart bled a little when I left Momo, even though I knew it was the best place for him. The last week before departure was spent at my boyfriend's Alex's place in Frankfurt. I had my luggage with me and would meet Mum at the airport. She was definitely coming to Australia. I thought she would surely skip out. I could not imagine this being her thing. Backpacking, as I found out, was a very minimalist venture. There was no space in the backpack to carry around a huge cache of makeup that my mum was addicted to. We had fun doing some basic preparations together, like buying our backpacks and hiking shoes, but I never thought she would really fly with me. When Alex and I took the train to the airport, my heart bled a little again, because I would leave him behind. But it did not bleed enough that the thought of staying in Germany ever crossed my mind. My cell rang. "Have you got my passport and flight tickets?" It was my mother's voice. She sounded flustered. "No, why would I?" My mum was at the train station in Fulda. Her train to the airport was departing in 10 minutes, and she had forgotten the two most important things. She would not make it back home on time. Home. What was home for her now? She had left my stepdad and only owned a few boxes into which she had packed her personal belongings. A few paintings, photos, clothes, and I had packed a box full of Tupperware for her. I have no idea why Tupperware seemed to be important to take from my stepdad's kitchen. Those boxes stood next to mine in my mother's attic. If she missed the train, she'd miss the flight. In a panic, my mother emptied the contents of a neatly packed backpack onto the platform. Next to her stood our friend Marco, who is as slow as a sloth, and who tried to lull my mother into a state of calm by soothingly telling her to remain calm. When, in the history of calming, did someone stay calm who was told to stay calm? I do not know. Especially when the someone is, as we all knew, never calm. Slow, but not calm. A minute before the train departed, my mother realized that both ticket and passport were not in her backpack, but in her brand new fanny pack dangling from her waist. Now a new panic spread, the panic of repacking her bag again before the train would leave without her. She made it after all. Meeting at the airport, we went to the check-in area. We wanted to pack our backpacks into the fancy new backpack bags that we bought because a very good salesperson told us they are absolutely essential. That was because the straps of the backpacks could get caught in the conveyor belts of the airport and would just be cut off, making the backpacks unusable. Of course, our backpacks were far too expensive to be damaged, so we bought those backpack bags, greenhorns, but I had left mine on the train. It was my turn to panic. Of course, without a backpack bag, I could not fly. My backpack would be strapless. How was I to carry it when we arrived in Australia? No, without a backpack bag, traveling was impossible. Alex and Marco, infected by my panic, ran through the airport to find packing material. They found a trash bag, but it was too small and there was nothing to close it with. They had to search again. They returned with a box as big as a coffin and tape from a customs officer who charged them $5 for it. I am sure he wasn't a real officer, but a member of the tape mafia, making money off poor backpack bag forgetting people like us. We trimmed the box from human to backpack size. As trimming tools, my mother's nail files came in quite handy. She would have to leave the files behind anyway. That was the next drama, because when she's nervous, my mum starts trimming her nails. And she is a very nervous traveler. The flight would be interesting. 24 hours without a nail file could be torture. What would she do? Well, it was a good thing she could not take files on board, because she probably would have run out of fingernails before we reached Australia, and I'm not sure she would have found someone on the plane wanting a manicure. Finally, we were ready, and to the amusement of the airline staff, I checked in with a big cardboard box. Then we went to the gate. Alex and Marco could not go beyond this point, so we had to say our final goodbyes. Of course, there were tears. First Alex, followed by Marco, then by my mum, at last by me. We could just go home, I heard my mother say, but that wasn't an option. I checked in a box. We went through the gate. I didn't look back. It was like ripping off a band-aid. It is best done fast. At the gate, everyone spoke English. The flight attendants and the ground staff did too. On board, we realized they had seated us about 10 rows apart. Using our broken English, we made someone understand that we'd like to sit next to each other. We were told to wait till after takeoff, for whatever reason. That wouldn't take too much longer, we thought, but we were proven wrong. The pilot's voice scratched to life through the overhead speakers. He told us that departure was delayed due to a defective oil filter in the right wing. What the hell? That wasn't inspiring confidence. We did what we do best: panic. I thought of leaving this death trap, but like everyone, I just stayed seated. Like a dumb herd of sheep, I thought. I was a sheep. After a delay of 2 hours and with new filters installed, we finally took flight. When the seatbelt signs flickered off, the flight attendant we had spoken to earlier found us seats next to each other. For the first time all day, I relaxed. I kept myself busy with computer games and movies, all shown on the little screen in front of me. I felt good. This plane was my home for the next 24 hours. It was safe, dry, had regular meals, and I did not need to think about anything. They even gave me socks, a little toothbrush, and a bag full of sweets. This was better than any hotel I ever stayed in. As the flight went on, everyone went to sleep, but I could not find sleep. I thought that every sleeping person on this plane surely had a hotel booked in Melbourne. All that was waiting for us was the airport. After I don't know how many hours with the seats that got seemingly tighter by the minute, we arrived in Singapore, where we had to catch another plane to take us the rest of the way. Because we were delayed, we had to run to catch the connecting flight. Everyone who has ever flown into Singapore knows that running is strictly prohibited in the airport. We were breaking the law again, but we made it. In the new plane, we watched more movies and ate more food. God knows when we would get our next meal after landing.